Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are in the middle of November. I don't know how that happened. I thought it was just February, but time evaporates. And this week we're going to talk about the urologic system, as in, oh, I gotta pee. Okay, so the terms, this is a very simple body system. So there aren't too many terms that you need to learn with regard, but there are some things that you should be aware of. So first, we're just going to talk about the whole system, which is relatively simple. We have the kidneys, and the kidneys function just like big filters. And then each of your kidneys, the right kidney and the left kidney, excrete into the ureter with a T. Okay. And both of them lead into the urinary bladder. And remember, you have other bladders like the gallbladder, so it's important to be specific. This is the urinary bladder we're discussing. The urinary bladder actually is like a big storage tank. So it doesn't actually do anything other than hold the urine until you get that sensation. And remember, there are sphincters, the internal sphincter at the base of the urinary bladder, which leads to the urethra. Urethra is the pipeline from the urinary bladder to the outside of the body. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Kidneys filter out what the body needs from the fluid, and then excretes the waste material through the ureter into the urinary bladder, which stores everything until it gets full. And that's when when you consciously release that sphincter, hopefully consciously, um, and then it exits through the urethra outside the body. And this is the same for men and women. Okay. All right. So particularly, we have the kidneys, and you can see some important vocabulary words, terms that you need to become familiar with. And the first thing is the adrenal gland, that orange, it almost looks like it's on fire on top of the kidney. And if you remember, we talked about that last week, because the adrenal glands are part of the endocrine system, and they sit on top of the kidney. But then the kidney, you have, and here's something else. You know how I'm always complaining that everything has more than one name. Okay, so kidney is kidney, but kidney is also referred to in medical terminology as renal. Okay, so whenever you see renal, that is referring to the kidney. Like chronic renal disease is chronic kidney disease, same thing. Okay, now if we want to confuse you further, which evidently they did when they created this language, the physician who is expert at caring for the kidneys is known as a nephrologist. Nephrologist. Okay. So we have kidney, we have renal, and we have nephro, which also refers. Okay. If it was simple, anybody could do it. That's why you all are exceptional people. Yes, you are. I know that. Okay. So renal cortex, renal capsule, renal pyramid, renal pelvis, renal artery, renal vein. All of that directly refers to different parts of the kidney. Okay? All right. So next we have the bladder. Now, as I said, once the kidney filters out what the body needs, it excretes the waste material, the urine, through the ureter, and you can see that on the right side of your screen. And here is a drop of urine on the left side of your screen, a drop of urine. Isn't that very, I didn't draw this, okay? And then you can see how the urine comes in and starts to fill up the urinary bladder, okay? At the bottom, there is a sphincter right where you see the word urethra, right above that, kind of where it comes down. There's a sphincter. If you remember, we talked about what a sphincter is. It's like, it functions like a rubber band, okay? So it contracts to close off and then it opens. Now, most of the sphincters throughout your body are autonomous. In other words, they will work as they need to work. But you, as a conscious human, and have control over some of those sphincters, particularly the urethral sphincter. And I'm sure you've all had that opportunity where you are clenching that sphincter as tight as you can while you run to the bathroom. Okay, it's part of life. Okay. All right. Now, you will hear the term renal trigon. And that refers to 3 orifices. Remember, orifice is just a natural opening into the urinary bladder. And remember, tri means 3. So the urinary trigon includes, it's the triangle, right? The triangle that the entry point of the 2 ureters, remember the right ureter from the right kidney, the left ureter from the left kidney, and then we have the urethra, which is the 3rd orifice, natural opening. Okay, it's very exciting. Okay, all right. And here you can see a little better how the whole process, how the urethra works. And guys, if you are wondering why, if you've ever wondered why women have to go to the bathroom more often than men, you know, besides touching up our lipstick, you know, and talking about men, take a look at this illustration. On the left-hand side is the male body, and look at the length of that urethra. You see the bottom of the bladder. The prostate gland is behind it, and the urethra comes all the way down through the penis to go to the outside of the body. Whereas in the woman's body on the right side, look how short that urethra is. Man, that's going to take no time at all. Okay. So you have the internal sphincter, but everybody has an internal sphincter at the superior end of the urethra. Remember, superior is closer to the head. And then you have the inferior, farther away from the head, the external urethra sphincter, say that 10 times fast, which is sometimes, most of the time, controlled consciously, but can also have a mind of its own. Okay? So to just sum up, this is the whole processes of the urologic system is very simple. 2 kidneys, 2 ureters, 1 urinary bladder storage tank, and one escape to the outside, your urethra. Again, did anybody ask me into the meeting to say we're going to call this a ureter and that a urethra because all it's going to do is confuse everybody? No, they didn't. No. All right. So that is what gives us the exceptional benefit of understanding and remembering these terms. Okay. It is important that you remember these terms again for two reasons. And the two reasons are for your ability to understand what is being communicated to you in your future professional job position. Okay. And the other is if you are a human, I'm assuming you all are, but I really hate to assume. Okay. If you are a human, then you have a urologic system all of your own. And at some point in your life, you may have to go to the doctor and understand what they're telling you. Okay. I'll tell you a funny story. I kind of pride myself on my diagnostic skills. So I had a feeling that I had a urinary infection. And so I went to a walk-in clinic and I peed in a cup and I'm waiting in the exam room. And this doctor comes in with my results. And this doctor, of course, I've never seen before. And he says to me, "You have a urinary tract infection." And I went, "Yes." And he looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah. And then I explained to him that I was just tracking my diagnostic skills. And he kind of gave me that side eye, like, "Yeah, whatever. Here's your prescription. You can leave now." Okay. But the fact is that you know your own body, and remember that everything that you are processing, everything that you are learning in this class and all your other classes always benefits you professionally and personally. And by extension, those people in your family, those people you love, your friends. Okay. So that is your motivation for why do I need to learn this? All right. Any questions? Okay, good. So what am I going to tell you? Because I tell you this every week. Review, review, review. Good job. Use a medical dictionary in case you get confused, and also to make sure that you are remembering accurately. And then whenever necessary, query me because I am in the class every day, 7 days a week. Okay. And I want to remind you that next week is Thanksgiving. So next Thursday, you all need to be good Americans and eat way too much. Whatever it is you choose to eat, you can be vegan, vegetarian, whatever makes you happy. Pescaniga, what I forget what that's called when you only eat fish. All right, whatever it is that makes you happy, just join me in being very, very thankful for all of you that I get to share my knowledge with. And remember, I'm in my email every day, 7 days a week. I promise you a response within 24 hours. I can answer your questions, email back and forth. We can set up an appointment to talk on the phone. We can FaceTime, do a one-on-one Zoom, whatever helps you. Because I have an additional motivation, okay? And that additional motivation is, well, we all every day are getting older, right? So as I creep up into my older years, I'm going to be depending on you all to take care of me in the doctor's office, the hospital, the nursing home, the assistant, whatever. Okay. So I got to make sure you know what you're doing so I can vegetate in peace. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will see you 2 weeks from today and enjoy. Email me if you need me. I'll be checking my email even through the holiday. Okay. All right. Have a good one.